KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
Just not the same without Joe here. Joe's out playing at the Renaissance Festival today.
That is correct. He's out Renfest today.
Well, it's a beautiful day for it.
I know. It's a great day out there, actually. I was just stuck in that weather. I didn't want to come upstairs to the studio because of that.
Well, I almost thought I was going to do this show solo. Comes in at 8:59.
I know.
Under the wire.
Have to do that every once in a while, too, you Rob. Keep you honest, keep you straight.
Well, how was your turkey day?
It was very good. How was yours?
It was good. I ate too much and watched too much football and.
That's what's meant to be, though. It's meant to spend it with family and friends and people you want to spend it with and have a good time.
And yours was?
It was great.
Thing?
Same thing. Had the kids there, and we just played and played and played all day long. Yeah, almost to the point in which I couldn't even wake up this morning.
Hence your tardiness. 30 minutes past your time.
30 minutes past my time.
We are going to dock your pay for that, by the way.
I know. I do know. I do agree every once in a while. Taking away 0 from 0 is going to hurt me a little bit, though.
Well, don't worry about it. Anyway, so we got a good show lineup for today.
Absolutely.
And we're really appreciative of the people who come in on a holiday weekend. And we have Phil Dvorak.
Dvorak, correct?
Dvorak, make sure I pronounce it correctly. Who
sounds
is with
like
ProTech Painting,
right?
A new franchise, and Gustavo,
A.K. the Goose.
The Goose.
A.K. the Goose is in the house.
Yeah, with DH Homes. And we're going to be talking a little bit about construction, homes, and where people started in their careers and the things like that. So who wants to be first today?
Well,
everybody raise their hand at one time. Okay,
absolutely.
Phil, you're up.
Come on, let's go.
By default, you're in the hot seat anyway. So anyway, you came on. You're a two-timer.
Two-timer, right?
And you came on last time as the owner of Pods, or one of the owners of Pods, and now you have bought a new franchise called ProTech Painting.
Right.
So talk a little bit about that.
ProTech Painting is, it's a company that, like you said, we just started it here in the Houston area. And my idea for this painting company is to be a customer service oriented painting business. The painting business doesn't really have the best reputation as far as the folks that show up at your house, in a dirty white pickup truck and may or may not be on time and may or may not.
Do they show up in your house to begin with?
Yeah,
exactly right.
When they show up,
that's the first test, right?
You described it this morning when we were talking about that. The industry's kind of fractured.
Exactly. It's a fragmented industry. There's not a high bar, so to speak, as far as what it takes to become a painter. You really just call yourself a painter, and there you are, right? So,
we might want to rip you here for an important message, if you don't mind. Is we've got Rick, which I believe is probably Rick Young, who is our COO for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties, and they've got a great event happening next week. Rick, are you there?
I am here.
Well, tell me about the event. Tell everybody else about the event.
Well, Greater Houston German Shepherd Dog Rescue, and that's a mouthful.
It's like Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties.
Must say that again 5 times in a row with 2 shots.
but on December 6th, which is a week from today, at Cottonwood, Houston, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we will be having our annual Jingle Bell Bark and Brew event, which is a huge silent auction, photos with Santa for children and their pets. And I guess adults, if they want to have their picture on Santa's lap, they can do that too.
I'm thinking no, but
we'll have a silent auction, raffle for an iPad, bake sale, and a special adoption event. And all this is to benefit German Shepherd Rescue. We're a all-volunteer organization. Every dollar that's raised goes to help the dogs. We don't have any overhead. Our dogs are all, fostered and kept in homes by volunteers. And so everything we raise goes to help place it. This is a special breed of dogs. You look at the police, you look at the military, you look at people with infirmities. I can speak this morning.
It's okay.
German Shepherds are a popular breed to help all these people, and it's a noble breed that's been with us a long time, and they deserve our love and our safety. And so we're a group that's just dedicated to this breed.
Well, I've always admired you about this because Rick, I know personally, has fostered, I know at least, since I've known you, probably at least 4 dogs and probably 6.
Oh, we're in the 20s.
Yeah, well, since I've known you, though, I'm thinking, but maybe it's more than I realize. But he gets attached to these dogs and then has to give them up.
Oh, I know. When I grew up, I had 4 German Shepherds throughout my, first 18, 20 years. Always had 2 of them at the same time. Let me tell you, they are just an incredible breed.
Well, Kristen, we expect to see you out at Cottonwood next week.
Absolutely. And Rick, one of the things I was going to suggest is we need to make a silent auction be Rob takes a picture with Santa's lap, by the way. I'd pay to see that.
Because I'd pay not to have it taken, right?
if people are willing to pay for that, we'll set it up.
Well, so what kind of auction items are we going to see out there?
Oh, there is something for everybody. We've got, for the sports fans, an autographed football by J.J. Watt and Arian Foster.
Oh, wow.
A Brian Cushing autographed football for the Aggies, a Kevin Sumlin football. For the Texas Tech fans, a Cliff Kingsbury football, the Troy Aikman helmet. For soccer people, a jersey and soccer ball signed by Clint Dempsey, who used to be captain of the America's soccer team. We've got an Earl Campbell football, Astros tickets. Then there's wine, cigars, artwork, jewelry, tons of restaurants. There's just Astros tickets, rodeo tickets, symphony tickets. So, there is just... And for Rob, we've even got certificates for Botox.
Now, that's funny.
That is good.
Yeah, I'm not old. I'm seasoned.
There is... Nobody can go there and say they didn't see anything they didn't want to bid on.
That is awesome.
Now, is it going to be...
all these items were donated by various businesses around Houston, and it's a great way, like I said, to support the dogs and help us. Our vet bills are astronomical. The food bills are high. This is just a great way to help save these dogs.
And you're actually going to have some German Shepherds out there that are available for adoption. Is that correct?
Yeah. The beauty of Cottonwood is they have a huge outdoor area. It's very pet friendly. So if people want to bring their dogs for the photos with Santa, we'll have dogs that are available for adoption. People are free to come and see the dogs and bring theirs as well.
Yeah, well, bring them if they get along with other dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the good thing is getting into the event is free. The photos with Santa have a small fee, but just to show up, and get to know us and get to know the dogs doesn't cost a thing.
So let's repeat. When, where?
Cottonwood Bar, which is on North Shepherd, just by 34th Street, 3422 North Shepherd. And it's December 6th from 1 to 4.
And the name of it again is?
Cottonwood, Houston.
And the name of the event's called?
Jingle Bell Bark and Brew.
Okay, you go on
Jingle
Facebook.
Bell Bark and Brew. I like that.
If you go to Facebook, you can look up Jingle Bell Bark and Brew, and they do have a page if you're attending. And I put down that I'm attending, and I think, Chris, when you get back to your Facebook today,
yes,
I want to put down that you're attending, and you're bringing Regina and your 2 kids.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know if I can bark and brew with them there, though. But I can definitely bid on the Botox for you.
Wow.
And the picture with Santa.
You can sit on Santa's lap and get the injections right there.
Okay, we're done. Well, Rick, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. And probably get you to call in again next week to remind everybody.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Rick. We appreciate it.
So,
I will see you guys soon.
Likewise. That is always a lot of fun. Rick's always a pleasure to speak with, by the way. He's always involved in an incredible organization and always doing something very good, not only for the dogs, but he's always doing something good for a lot of different organizations.
Well, he does a lot with Sunshine Kids as
well.
That
is correct.
That's our Berkshire Hathaway Home Services nationally supports Sunshine Kids, and so we're constantly looking for ways and events to enhance that. We have a goal that we want to make sure we up it every year.
Correct.
And so we're always looking for that. Chris, you were a huge help this year when you gave a portion of your production to Sunshine Kids, and that has not gone unnoticed.
Well, the good thing is it goes towards a great cause, and more importantly, for some great children who need, we need to raise money, and we need to continue to provide them all the support services we can. So
So back to Phil.
Back to Phil.
So, what were we talking about? We
Let me paint something for you.
We were talking about the fact that you have, that normally right now in the industry you have painters that will show up on time in uniform without a white truck.
Well, we might have a white truck, but but it's going to be clean and logoed. You know what I mean? You'll know that it is us.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So the painting folks don't really have the best of reputations. You find somebody on Craigslist or you look on Google, and they may or may not show up on time. They may or may not get you what they promised, and that's my vision here. Is we're going to definitely raise the bar for painters here. We're going to be the customer service oriented. We're going to earn your 5-star review on every job. As a matter of fact, I won't take your check until you're 100% satisfied. So roll that beautiful bean footage.
What people's experience is that maybe they don't show up, or maybe the work isn't, and they have no accountability. What kind of accountability are they going to have with you, and what kind of guarantees or warranties are you offering?
Every job is going to be warranted for at least 2 years, and up from there, 2 to 4 years on average, depending on if it's interior or exterior. You'll have a person that's on site that is a painting manager, and I will be there every day as well, every day in the morning to make sure that everything's on task, everything is being on schedule, and making sure that you're satisfied with everything as we move through the process. Now,
when it comes to painting, are you just doing painting, or are you doing sheetrock work? I mean, interior, exterior. Talk about a little bit about the services that you offer.
Right, yeah. We do minor construction work as well. So, if you have trim on your house or holes in your sheetrock that need to be repaired, or some rotten wood, we do take care of the carpentry as well.
Okay, perfect.
So interior and exterior, commercial and residential is what we do.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that this morning. There's no way that you can get a paint job and you're going to go there and say they want the base trim, and find some spot that's you'll be able to put your finger through it.
Especially here in the Houston area, it's so humid and hot that you always find a little
arises on a paint job that you weren't expecting.
No, I would agree. And one of the things, as you mentioned right there, one of the things right now, and I've painted my home in the past, a lot of different ways, but generally speaking, the way I've always done is I go to a construction site and I speak Spanish, so I talk to the guys, say, hey, what are you guys doing when you finish up this home, and come on over and see me. And, but one of the things that I've always personally struggled with is that, they don't show up the next day, or you can't get them to show up on time, or they don't show up at all, or they start half the project, and then, a Saturday, Sunday rolls around, the builder calls them out there, they do their main work, next thing you know, I'm sitting a week later, and I've got a half a paint job going on and missing all the rest of it. So, one of the things, I think it's incredible. I think, obviously, from ProTake Painting, what you're doing is you're creating a professionalism in the industry that doesn't exist. I think some of your challenges will be to re-educate the consumer on what that's going to look like, though. Because absolutely, I think most of the people here are accustomed to doing it the way I do it, right? Is you go out there and you find that. And so that's going to be, that'll probably be the biggest challenge. And I tell everybody out there is every industry has to have a change to it most of the time. So, and this is one of those opportunities I see to really bring something different to the industry that is merited right now. So
disruptive. Innovation is what they call that, and it is something that's probably long overdue in all trade. But you get plumbers and electricians and stuff, they have to be licensed. And we were talking about this earlier, that basically to be a contractor in Texas, you basically raise your right hand and say, I'm a contractor, and you are. So there's no accountability. You're not reporting to anybody. You're just going out and doing it. And that seems to be a biggest issue and why people get so frustrated.
Right. Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm here to do, is to change the industry.
And the buck stops here, right?
Exactly.
And you mentioned this is a franchise?
It is, sure is.
Okay. How long has the franchise been around?
Since 1995. So 1995. Almost 20 years. Right, yeah.
Wow.
Now, I was amazed to find that there was one available in Houston, because you would think, of course, with the job market in Houston and just the growth in general.
Right.
But there's actually only one other franchise down in the Clear Lake area. So I'm up on the north side of Houston. So Woodland Spring, Conroe area, everything kind of north of the Beltway is where I'm focusing right now.
Wow, that is awesome. We have a lot to talk about, but unfortunately, like I always tell everybody, time flies when you're having fun. We are past this first segment right here. We want to thank Rick for calling in a little bit earlier. We're going to get back here in a few moments. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Such as you Me's an old immovable object like me. You can bet as sure as you live. Something's gotta give, something's gotta give, something's gotta give.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back, having a good time as usual with our buddy who called in. He missed the original How, but he's here to do the second one though.
Which buddy are we talking about here?
We are talking about Joe Orsak. Joe, how you doing, bud?
I am doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Hey, doing pretty good. Where are you headed out to right now?
We are headed out to the Texas Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, this is the last weekend. I was talking to Liam on Thursday. He was out there having Thanksgiving at Gina's house, and he said he's having a great year, and the weather's just been beautiful.
Weather is beautiful. It's going to be a gorgeous day out there. I'm looking forward to it. This is our 21st horseback adventure out to the Renaissance Festival. The kids have won every year of their life, so it's a big family outing, and we're going to have a blast.
That will be fun. Now, are you dressed up as a pirate also?
I am dressed up as a civilian.
Civilian, okay, gotcha.
How'd you pull that one off?
Shirt on, does that count? And I've got some really great, wood tankards with me that are made for all sorts of beverages.
So are you going to pull that little stunt where you're going to woo your lady?
Yes, absolutely.
That's where you learned that, wasn't it?
well, yeah, my wife keeps poking me and saying that Ashley's dressed up like an elven, ranger. She's got her bow and whatnot on. So if anybody gets out of line, we might put an arrow in them.
That's correct. And if you don't buy her a new home pretty soon, you might get one in you.
That's right. And we've got you held captive in the car with Kim.
Yeah. There you go.
Hopefully she's listening. And we have a new home salesperson on here today that could probably fix you right up.
Always call me.
They could probably help out, huh?
Yeah, DHO is
that is correct.
In the house today.
Well, I had to give a call in and say hey to Phil and Gustavo and crew. My wife and I, one of the first jobs we ever did together, we spent an entire summer painting apartments.
Wow.
And it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had in my life. And if I never see a paintbrush or anything related to painting ever again, it's too soon. I will hire Phil in a heartbeat over doing it myself. So.
Well, I understand. I've done a lot of painting projects myself. I don't feel as strongly as you do about them, but it is so much easier to hand it over to professional. And what is this show about?
Gosh, yes.
This show is about hiring professionals.
Absolutely.
Don't do it yourself.
I'm a big pro fan of that when it comes to painting, for sure.
So anyway, well, you and Kim have a wonderful time out there at the Renaissance Festival, and we will see you next week.
Absolutely. I'm forcing the kids to listen to the show all the way out.
Hey, that sounds good.
That was awesome.
Nice.
Hey, and since we know Joe's listening, we got to do the Grode Scream like all show now. He'll just be cracking up the whole way.
Yeah.
Yes. Kim will just be the entire time.
That's too funny.
She said, like right now, she's still here just shaking her head at us.
That is great.
I need a button like that.
All right, guys, have fun. We're going to be listening to the rest of the show and enjoying it on the way out to the Renaissance Festival.
Okay,
sounds
thanks
great,
for calling in,
Joe.
You bet.
So, it was funny.
That is hilarious.
Well, that was really interesting. Our visitor here, we had showing you what kind of fans we had there. We had an eagle show up in our right outside our window.
Right here at the window, and you can actually go to Facebook and look it up. I'm posting it out there as we speak.
That might be the closest I've been to an eagle other than at a zoo.
Literally, if there wasn't a pane of glass between us, we could have reached out our hand and touched the eagle.
So we have a lot of fans out there.
Yes, we really do.
At high levels.
At very high levels.
They soar above the crowd.
I like that. A soar above the rest.
Can I steal that?
Trademark.
Trademark. That's right.
Copyright protected.
There it goes, right there.
Well, let's finish up. Phil, we're talking about hiring professionals, things like that. Right. You had told me that you had looked at a lot of franchise opportunities, and tell me why you chose this particular one.
Well, really the market here in Houston is so busy right now. There's so much going on. A lot of people moving in, a lot of construction going on. So it seemed to make sense. And again, given what I was talking about earlier, that it's really a fragmented industry that doesn't have the best of reputations. So for somebody to step in and professionalize it to a degree seemed like a perfect opportunity for me.
And warranting something for 2 years on paint's a pretty strong statement.
It is.
And so,
I don't find that too often.
Working with trades and things like that, I know can be challenging. What have you seen addressing that? Workforce hiring, getting the type of person you want. Has that been difficult? Because the people are in demand right now.
Right.
And has that been a real issue for you to be able to get good people? Or?
It has been. It hasn't been an issue to get people to want to work for us, right, to show up for the interview. But the question is whether they meet our standards, so to speak. We want somebody that looks the part, so to speak. We don't want you to be concerned that grandma's heirloom ring that's in your house is going to disappear because you've got some shady character in there that you might want to look at the offender registry online before you let them in your house.
So do you do background checks on everybody you hire?
Absolutely.
Well, that's a great comfort to know that people have been checked out. They are in your house, and they are being supervised, and they've got a good background.
Right.
That's not something you get from most painters. I know that for sure.
And one thing, I didn't mention this before, but I also have a real estate license. So there's not.
I'm sorry.
Right. I don't use it for anyone but myself. Right. But if you're a realtor or if your home is on the market or you're getting ready to go on the market, there's not any other painting contractor that has a super key. They can go in there and
awesome.
take a look and make sure if the home is vacant or if it's on the market and you need somebody to go in when you're not there.
And that's one thing we're getting is when biggest part of staging a house. One of it is getting it freshened up.
Right.
And painting is the biggest thing that your eye will see is the walls.
Exactly.
And having them fresh and clean and makes a huge difference on the and colors make a huge difference. You can take a really plain Jane house, go in there with some great colors, fresh paint, and just change the whole character of it.
Right. No, I would absolutely agree. And to get back to what I was talking about on the first segment, though, just to be able to have you available there, to be able to have that professionalism, they go out, have somebody to go to, have somebody that will follow up, have somebody that will warranty the work. Because right now, generally speaking, you don't get that type of warranty. So, I mean, it's really and truly one of those things we talk about, hire a professional and hire a professional company that can do that. We're not saying anything bad about anybody else.
No, I actually know some great painters.
Yeah, I know some great painters as well. But in general, though, this is one of those industries, and this is one of these opportunities, I think, that we can really make a change in promoting ProTech painters to do this, to really make that change out there in the industry and to do the right thing.
Well, again, that's something that most people, when they go to get their house painted, they don't know where to go.
Right.
And they'll ask a friend, who'd you get? They might go to Angie's List or something like that. But you know what? I like to have a personal relationship with the people I do business with. I want to know who they are. I want to be able to shake their hands. I want to know that when I call them tomorrow, they're still going to answer the phone. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be there. And then if something happens 6 months from now, paint starts peeling. I had that happen. I had painters come out to the house, and they didn't prep the wood correctly. It was exterior. It all turned black.
Mm. Yeah.
And so that the thing is, you have to put primer on the bottoms of the boards and things like that.
Right.
If you're using real wood, and a lot of times they don't prime, but a portion of it, the part that shows, moisture gets behind there and things like that, and then it just turned totally black. And they didn't want to come out, and then he came out and goes, "Oh,
we will be starting over."
We will be. It was not pretty. So I've had the experiences you're talking about, but they did come out and make it right.
Right,
and that was a good thing, but it wasn't like immediate. It wasn't fun to watch your paint that you paid a lot of money for turn black.
We know these dang builders are taking up all the trades right now,
and that's the other thing. Yeah, guys, what are you doing? But that is a problem right now because the builders are taking priorities because they get so much business from the builders.
And nothing against the builders. We want to have the builders out there. We want to have them to build, but a lot of times that's another thing is. You can call you up and get it done, whereas a lot of times a lot of those other individuals that are independent contractors end up being available more for their bigger clients. So the priority is not on getting out there taking care of the individual one. When they have a builder, it needs to build, or paint 5 homes for them all of a sudden.
And you got to look at from a business standpoint, you got to look at what's best for your business and how you're going to build your business. And you said you're probably going to do some builder business, but your main focus is consumers.
Exactly.
Now, and make sure the consumer has a great, 5-star experience. And that's a great approach, because a lot of painters get in the business and they'll do some houses for, friends and family, and all of a sudden they get attached to a builder, and then they're so busy. Because, especially in the Woodlands right now, you all are seeing a huge boom up there. Oh, yeah. And we're going to have Cindy Heyman and Shannon Register, who are up in the Spring and Woodlands area next week.
Yep.
And they're going to report in on what that market looks like. And I know it is, like we like to say, smoking hot.
It is exploding, that's for sure.
It's exploding. Yeah. There's not a lot of inventory. They're starting to catch up a little with the new home construction, but for the most part, they're still kind of short on that. Yeah. So.
Well, I don't ever criticize anybody's size, but, whether it be 5'6" or 6 foot, but get it, Rob? No, you're not going there.
Yeah, I'm not going there. Yeah, okay. Just nice try. Must be that tryptophan is affecting you.
Hey, Joe, where are you, buddy? Come on. You would have caught that one.
Yeah, we're just sliding over all together. So, well, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
ProtectPainters.com, or they can call us. Our phone number is 281-673-1703.
That's ProtectPainters.com.
And
Protect is a play on words. It's pronounced protect, but it's protect.
It's protect, yeah. So I saw that on your card. It said when you first read it, it goes like, "Oh, protect painting."
Yeah. No. And let me tell you, the truck you got painted downstairs is incredible.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Really, really nice. I mean, that's an example of what.
Well, since I was here on time, I didn't get to see his truck. I got here before he got here.
Well, actually, I was doing some. It's called research.
Work, yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, we're researching how we wrap
so
his truck.
What you do is, you go down by a truck, you look and see, you check some things out down there. I mean, not everybody can just sit up here in an office like you, Rob.
Yes. Someone's got to drink the coffee, eat the donuts. I had to keep Gus occupied too. He's over here.
That's true. Oh, Gus, man. I mean, Gus just takes up so much time all the time. Calls up all the time. Just always, hey, Kelso, and so. We love him, though. We're going to be talking to Gus here in a few moments,
I think we should put him on.
Yeah,
he took all the time to come down here.
Exactly. He took all the time to come out here. One of the things that we say is time flies when you're having fun. We're down to less than a minute, though. So, we want everybody to know is definitely look up Protect Painters. Again, that's Phil. And Phil, how do you pronounce your last name again? Dvorak, okay. You can reach them again at 281-673-1702. We have Gustavo. We have
Gustavo, a.k.a. the Goose.
The Goose, that is correct. Coming up next, we're going to be talking with D.H. Holmes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What a world. What a life. I'm in love. I've got a song that I sing. I can make the rain go.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. Having a good time.
We're having a good time today. It's kind of a more casual show today.
It's a definitely casual show today. The fact that we've got the Eagles soaring up here with us is absolutely amazing.
That was pretty amazing.
Yes. And we also have an Eagle right now coming up.
Another amazing person.
Another great individual, Gustavo Quan.
The Goose.
I'm excited to be here, guys.
Goose.
Thanks so much.
So we have a goose and an eagle in the studio today.
Whoa.
Wow. And then we have a screaming goat also. So pretty crazy.
We're just pure entertainment.
Pure entertainment around here. But, Gustavo, actually, we've known him for quite a long time, actually. He goes way back to one of our co-hosts here with Joe Orsak. And then more importantly, back then you were an agent back in your prior life, even prior to that, right?
That's exactly right. I actually became an agent in 2000 when I decided to become a realtor, which everybody knows once you become a realtor, you're in there for life. So
it's in your blood.
Yeah, I can't leave. So, but after that, I decided to go ahead and pursue other avenues. I've actually became a certified credit consultant with Improve My Credit USA, which I worked for the firm for over 5 years.
We got to bill Joe for that now.
Okay.
Joe. There you go. But one of the things I love about it is just the knowledge that we actually gain, and that's really what I love about overall being in real estate as well. Every day it's a new experience. You learn so much, out of becoming a realtor or a builder, vice versa.
It all ties together. It's a big industry.
And you've got that. Yeah, about saying you've got that. It's really neat because you're in a new home sale with DH Home. We're going to talk about that right now. But you came from an agent background, then you got into the credit side of things. Let me tell you, the things that usually take place is understanding that process, right? It's about understanding the buying, selling process, understanding how to develop somebody's credit, especially if they need some help, then getting into the mortgage and ultimately selling them a home right there.
Exactly. And that's one of the really great things that sets me apart. When I meet with a client, I want to really understand their financial background, kind of analyze them as well, and kind of point them to the right direction so they can really become homeowners as well.
And, and one of the things, let us know a little bit about DH Homes. I mean, one of the things that I didn't know really is some of the background about DH Homes.
Right. DH Homes, they're really, really awesome in the point that they're your customized builder. Typically, you're dealing with other companies. You typically are just track building. With DH Homes, we can really personalize a home just to fit your requirements. Like, for example, I had a client that came in last week that wanted to have a big master bedroom. So we were able to make that happen for them. So we can really not just personalize that for a pump, but just the standards of our homes is really what sets us apart. You walk into a finished product, ceramic tile flooring, crown molding top to bottom, rounded corners, ceramic tile in the kitchen, even granite, 42-inch wood pantry doors. And we are a true Energy Star builder as well. And that's really one of the great unique things about DH Homes as well.
And you have a website which is very mobile friendly, by the way. I always tell everybody that's always very important because in today's market, when you have individuals out there looking for homes, looking for home builders, the fact you can go to your website and it is extremely mobile friendly right here, it's really cool. So you mentioned some of the things, some of the benefits that you see in regards to DH Homes. I mean, what's the typical process look like when someone engages with you?
The first thing I always want to do is really consult with our clients because we have so many different kind of avenues, different kind of floor plans, dimensions. I really want to see exactly what they're looking for. So we want to see if the community fits their requirements, if the house is really what they're looking for, and just really start just getting detail on the floor plans that they're actually wanting because typically the clients that come to us, they want something different.
Right.
So after we actually consult with them, we really want to answer all their questions, concerns, and kind of give them the different avenues of what's available to the clients and available as far as incentives and things like that.
And then, like you said, that's pretty neat. And then they can go and modify it. They want a larger bedroom. They want a second master suite.
Exactly.
They want some different alternatives. You guys can really make those happen. Whereas a lot of times your big box builders right there, they're pretty limited in those floor plan, extensions or changes they can make.
Not only the interior portion, but the exterior portion, we can actually cater to them as well. And that's really the uniqueness of DH Homes. Not only can you buy from our subdivision, but we can build in your lot as well.
Okay.
So we can really personalize what you're really wanting in your home.
And the building in your lot's really big right now. We're starting to see a lot of individuals as they are trying to get more space. They're trying to move out from where they're at. I mean, I see it all the time right now. Individuals are now, still wanting to move out, but they just don't want to have that neighbor that, you can reach out your window and borrow the sugar in the morning if you're running out of it. So, you're seeing a lot more of that build on your own lot. And so, on that build on your lot, they still can either select or build some of the modifications they need to.
Exactly. And that's really what I love about the company is just the uniqueness. Every home is different. And we're catering to that client that actually wants that difference, the different look from the exterior to the interior portion of the house.
And talk about the areas of concentration. Is there any particular area of Houston that you all focus on? Are you willing to go to Clear Lake, Galveston, or you?
We can go ahead and build in any location. We do have 3 subdivisions right now, which is actually in the east side, and we have one in Tomball at the moment.
Tomball is going pretty hot right now. That used to be a little country town. Now it's going to be a big city, and it's got a toll road that goes around it. I mean, it's just amazing.
It's expanding, yeah. Once you cross over that 2920, it's beautiful out there.
What are the 3 subdivisions you're building in right now?
One of them, it's going to be in Tomball, which is Magnolia Ridge.
Okay.
The second one's in the east side, which is Pine Tree. And the one I'm actually in is at Tilwell Lakes, breathtaking. We're actually located in the Beltway and Titwell, and we actually have waterfront property. We're building about 220 homes there.
Really?
Yeah. What's your price point?
We're starting at $160, and we're ending right about $300s.
That's a great area, and more importantly, it's a great price point to be in right now.
Yeah, it's a really good price point.
The incentives are there too. I mean, our clients that actually purchase that, they qualify for so many different incentives. The tax bracket is low. You qualify for the MCC, which everybody knows has a tax break of $60,000 back in return for the life of the mortgage. I mean, that's amazing.
Right.
Mortgage insurance is low as well, so that in return makes the monthly payment very low as well.
Yeah, and for those who don't know what MCC is, it's a mortgage credit certificate. And what that ends up doing is you can take up to $2,000, depending on what tax bracket you're in, as a deduction off your taxes, actually, for the life of the loan right there. So what it ends up doing is, depending on how long you've got that loan for and depending on what the tax bracket you're in, you can get thousands of dollars of savings every year for, on a typical 30-year fixed, for a 30-year period.
And that's on top of the interest and the taxes that you also already deduct.
Well, what it is, it's a net deduction off the bottom of your taxes, basically. So it can actually have a huge impact when you're buying a home on that MCC.
Difference. Exactly.
Now, I know you've handled some of those in the past, have you not?
Oh, we do a lot of MCC. And, it's really not that hard. Those individuals are out there looking at a DH home, for example. What you do is as long as you qualify for the MCC, and there's a qualification process, you have to take one course as well to be able to qualify for that course, and then you get your mortgage credit certificate issued to you, and then pretty much you're ready to go. I mean, all the traditional financing from there is done, because depending on what type of loan you're doing.
What's the qualifier for that?
So MCC, we do a lot of it through TDHCA, their MCC program right there, and it's really
acronyms.
Not that bad. It's the Texas Department of Housing, basically. And so what that ends up doing is the qualifications has to do with, there is an income qualification associated with it. Mm-hmm. And that income qualification depends on how many family members you have in your family, and depends on, if you're in a targeted or non-targeted zone. It depends on some of the different things.
I may have a dog next week.
Yeah, but on average, I tell everybody it starts off with a family of two at about 70,000, and moves up from there, to 100,000, depending upon,
correct,
family members of five or more and stuff like that. So, but it's a great product, and it's a great program. And for individuals in that price point that Gustavo was talking about, a lot of times you're going to have in that 170 to 220, I would say, you're probably going to have your most amount of success in getting.
There's not a lot of product in that price range that's new construction. That's a really good price point to be in.
And the location is beautiful as well. We're coming right along the Beltway, minutes away from Summerwood. You got Generation Park as well. That's expanding.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And they're already starting to build out there.
Exactly.
I mean, you can actually drive and see
crane.
it.
Yeah,
yes.
It's amazing.
I saw a presentation on that, and it's going to be huge.
Well, most people don't realize is right now FMC Technologies, which is a big oil and gas, company out there, they're already starting to build their corporate campus out there.
Right.
So they've already got one of several buildings that are
one
you can
building
actually
going
see,
up right now. And as a matter of fact, Memorial Herman just broke ground out there as well. So
I looked at their expansion plan. Memorial Herman, they are going to be everywhere.
They are
absolutely everywhere. They're an amazing organization. I always like to ask people who are in new home sales, how do you step people to the price? How do you get them started? How do you step them? Because that's really, it's not a really difficult business, but it's got a critical path method that has to follow, and things have to be decided on. And how do you get them through that process without them, couples killing each other or them killing you?
Really understanding their concerns and their wishes and their wants. One of the things that really sets me apart from anybody else is I want to go ahead and take it by stages, because I don't want to just throw everything at them all at once. So the first step what I want to do is really finding out if the community fits them. If it is, we'd like to continue on with the second step. It's finding that particular floor plan and that particular home that you really love. And from there on out, we love to go ahead and discuss financing. And then typically at that time, I break everything down with a good faith over to them, and they can make that educated decision if they want to continue on with the fourth step. So I like to really just take my time and just cater to them and just really let them see and explain it to them and kind of get their feedback as well.
One of the ways I always approach things is I want expectations and reality to come together. And I know a lot of times the consumers get out there and have certain expectations, and the frustration and anger stems from it's not being met.
Exactly.
And so I was always real, because if sometimes people say, I can build a home in 4 months. Well, you know what? No, you can't. Not unless you already got the slab for it, because you've got permitting, you've got You might have alterations. You might have, there might be shortages of materials. I mean, a number of things can happen during that process.
Weather permitting, too. You got to look at the weather, especially here in Houston. I mean, typically you can build a home in 4 months, but, you got to look at the facts. Something may happen where it may prolong as far as the building process goes. So, you got to look at the weather and scenarios like that.
And one of the things that I really like that you're talking about here is, and nothing against anybody else, but I loved your process of really making sure that the individual likes the community first and then walking through that process. Too often times I see individuals walk in, it's, can I get them on paper? How fast? And, move on to the next one right there. And then inevitably 50% of those end up busting out. Why? Because they end up finding out something in the future. They didn't have an amenity that I wanted, or I didn't like where it was located, or I realized it was too far away from work, et cetera, right? Because there's some great salespeople out there that can really, somebody walks in and says, I'm just looking to see, and next thing you know, they walk out with a contract. So the fact is that you actually walk them through and make sure that not only the home is a good fit for them, but the community. Because at the end of the day, most of the time what we're doing is we are buying community. Exactly. We're not necessarily, we're buying the lifestyle, but community is what a lot of people look for. And so I loved the fact that you put that as far as, part of your sales technique.
It's something that everyone should do as part of their technique is to listen to your people you're dealing with.
Yep. Well, I listen to you all the time, Rob.
Yeah, but you may listen, but you don't pay attention.
I don't act upon it, but I do listen at least.
And I sometimes appreciate that.
Before it gets too late, especially in the next segment that we're kind of coming up, Gustavo, I know you're out at Tidwell Lakes. How can we reach you if you don't mind?
You can always go and contact me by mobile, of course, 832-612-1091, or you can go to our main website, which is dhhomes.com.
dh-homes.com, isn't it?
There you go.
dh-homes.com. I only know that because if you type in the other one, it sends you somewhere else, by the way. Cool. So
it takes you to those other people.
It goes to the other people. We want you to go to Gustavo. And remember, se habla español also, by the way. So if you're out there, speak Spanish.
There you go. Yes, se habla español.
Se habla español. Time flies when you're having fun, as we always say. We're up against a break. Again. We have one last segment coming up. I almost hear those goats screaming out for Joe, and we will be right back.
Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in a boat?
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. Time flies when you're having a good time, right?
Oh, there it is. Joe, that was for you.
Joe, that was specifically for you right there. We said we were back, and it yelled out.
I'm glad we found those sounds.
Oh, that was great. Joe did a great job on bringing those up right there. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So this is our open mic time. We're going to talk about, everything.
That is correct. One of the things I am going to talk about, by the way, really fast, let everybody know, is obviously we've got a great show that's going on right now. 1 o'clock, you can hear Bill Napick today talk about real estate matters. But at 4 o'clock...
Can we invoice him?
We can invoice him, I think. There it is right there.
It is.
And at 4 o'clock, you get to hear me all over again today with Bill Napick.
Retweet.
As Bill and I will be talking success out there and successful living, actually, on his new show at 4 o'clock.
I expect reciprocity, by the way.
Yes.
He needs to be promoting the Real Estate Rat Pack show.
He does. He does, in fact. In fact, he does. So, Bill, shout out to Bill as well. And you can hear me back again at 4 o'clock today on his new show. So, it'll be fun.
On the same station.
On the same station. There is...
Ashley's she made herself laugh this time.
Gosh, I know. That's what people are saying. Not again on the same station at 4?
that wasn't even a sound effect. That was a real live scream.
That was a real live scream from Ashley.
That was Ashley running out of the room.
Yeah.
I can't stand it any longer. Yeah.
And we have Joe just cracking up right now. You know he's listening to this on the way over to the Ren Festival, and he is just laughing his butt off.
Well, he's one that brought us those goat noises.
That is true. Yeah, the more we give him during the show, by the way, the more he will laugh. Yep.
Good deal.
So it'll be good.
So let's talk about real estate, and these two guys here that are professionals, and we have brought them in here. They've got a story to tell.
They have a story to tell. I would absolutely agree. So tell away.
Okay.
And away we go.
So it's what you call dead air time.
Yeah, exactly.
I like long walks in the park. I like dinners.
Don't try this at home, folks. We are professionals.
Can we just do 15 minutes of that yell? That would be friggin'. That is hilarious. So, no matter how long it comes on, I will still laugh every single time. And so will Joe. I know he's laughing right now.
You're just an easy target.
Yes.
Not about
Joe's easier.
Yeah.
I can see Joe right now just cracking
like that
up.
famous Permapeer show.
Yes, that is correct. That was a good one as well.
Anyway, so we're still talking about new homes, and this is something where you guys can actually work together because you're building new homes. You'd probably like to paint some new homes.
I'd love to paint some new homes.
So I think do we get a commission for this?
Yeah, exactly, right?
I think we should. There you go.
I knew there was a reason why I came.
Yeah, because that is one of the big issues builders have right now is finding great trades, and you're going to do the same type of Phil. You're going to do the same type of warranties and accountability with builders that you're going to do with consumers, I presume.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
absolutely. I mean,
now, how can you turn that down?
Exactly. I mean,
because you're not getting that probably right now.
Not at all.
That they put the independent contractors because they do operate that way. And Phil's laughing over here because we know what it's like. In fact, real estate agents are independent contractors, and they like to remind us all the time we're independent contractors. Yeah. And I can do what I want. Yeah, you may not make any money, but you can do what you want. Exactly. So, both of y'all can talk about this. Is dealing with the trades and things like that. What kind of challenges you face? What kind of great success you've had? Kind of expound on that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, just kind of as you alluded to, when you're dealing with contractors, I mentioned this earlier. I have no problem when I'm putting out a job ad, for example, to get people to call me initially. But the problem is getting them to show up at the job on time and making sure that they're going to, get operate within the time parameters that we've set up and that we've promised to the customer. So yeah, there's a wide range of skill levels out there, not only just in terms of their painting ability, but also in terms of how they deal with the public and with the customers, and that's really important to me.
Yeah, and I will come to defense independent contractor, by the way. A lot of times they get pulled in a couple of different directions. Something happened on. Oh yeah. They may have a lead painter who is running the job. And he has somebody that doesn't show up, and so therefore he's got to do two jobs. Now he's not enough personnel to do one job, and so sometimes it's out of their control. I mean, I just want to make that abundantly clear. I'm not picking on painters today.
Yeah, I would agree there. No, there's a lot of good, like I said, there's a lot of good individuals out there. But one of the things that you just never seen. You've never seen a company come into the market, like ProTech Painters is doing, and really putting that face to more of a unified look on the painting side of things.
Right.
And they're going to be uniformed, on site, clean trucks, insurance.
Exactly.
That. So they were professionals.
That is correct. That is correct.
We'll clean up the job site every day. That's another big
You're going to do what?
Clean up the job site. And that's another big complaint. Retweet. That's another big complaint that you'll hear from people that I talk with. Is that they've had somebody at their house before, and then they come home from work, and there's ladders all over the yard. There's paint cans and brushes strewn about the driveway, and so on and so forth. But we're going to pick up after ourselves every day.
I've always told that adds personality.
There's no charge, no extra charge.
When I was a home builder, we used to back charge people if we had to clean up their mess. Nowadays, if you back charge somebody, they're walking.
Right.
And that's the problem. There's such high demand, it's hard to have as much control. And I'm sure that's your challenge right now. Is that they say, okay, I don't want to work for you. I'll go work for somebody else.
Right.
And they can get a job. It's in this market, it makes it particularly tough to get that person that you're looking for. But you've been successful at doing it.
Right. And it goes both ways. I mean, our relationship with our painters is just as important as it is with our actual customers, because we want to make sure that they're happy, make sure that, like you said, there's, especially as we get into the spring and summer, there's such a high demand for quality painters that they can go anywhere that they would like. And so we have to work extra hard to make sure that once we have them, we keep them.
And keep them busy and paying them on time is one way to do it.
Exactly.
And then you mentioned right now, by the way, that you're up in the north side, by the way, in regards to where your office is currently located.
Mm-hmm.
What area can you cover here in Houston, though? I mean, are you limited? Are you territory restricted?
We are to a degree.
Okay.
So basically the north side of Houston is where my territory lies. But anybody that calls me directly, it doesn't matter.
Like somebody out in Katy, if they were to call you.
If they call me directly, we can.
There's a pause there.
Yeah. There's a pause. It's like
the franchisor is listening.
Yeah, and make sure that this segment doesn't get repeated in the wrong ear. There's a saying in a lot of franchise industries that you eat what you kill. So,
right.
So as far as the marketing that I do and the business that I can actively pursue, it's on the north side. But if somebody were to call me as a referral from somebody else, whether or not they're in Katy or Sugar Land or Midtown or anywhere, we actually can do that.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
I just can't actively seek it out.
That is correct. And that's why I was like to ask those questions right there, because I definitely understand the franchise model and the importance to protect territories right there, but also relationships mean a lot. And so those referrals mean a lot.
That's right. And guys, let's talk a little bit about it, because even though you aren't in the the construction phase of it, you end up being the line of defense for the builder. Now, how are you handling when things are not going perfectly? And I know you're a great builder, but we know things don't go perfectly on jobs.
Exactly. I mean, when you're building a house, there's always going to be problems that occur. One of the perks that I actually have a supervisor that deals with any issues that we have. To top it off, we already come with a 10-year warranty. But if there is a problem that does arrive, I want them to come talk to me. So that way we can find a solution and I can get with my supervisor. And the good thing about it, my supervisor actually has 2 weeks to handle that particular issue, or we actually deduct that pay. So
wow.
So he's going to be really, really motivated to get that issue fixed. Because if not, again, we do deduct that pay. So me working with a reputable company, that's one of the perks that I have. I mean, I do want to talk with my clients that have that issue so we can correct it and apply a good solution.
Well, you seem to be very concerned about reputation, which is a surprise he'd come on the show.
Well,
wow.
Well, he's concerned with it, but he's not overly concerned with it.
but what basically, you are the one that builds a relationship with the home buyer. And like I said, I know that oftentimes you end up being the first line of defense when something's not going right, or during the building process, there's a lot of confusion.
Exactly.
You're doing walkthroughs and maybe some inspections going on, and so how do you deal with that? Do you just simple that deer in the head, like oh.
Well, again, if there is an issue that does arise, the first thing that I want to do is really just find out what's going on with that issue and make sure we apply a good solution to that.
Yeah. Boy, we're having way too much fun with this with Joe being out today. We're actually.
Where are you, Joe?
Yeah. He's out at the Red Fest right now, and man, I love all the goat sounds. You know what's really funny, though? Speaking of the goat sounds, get off the subject for a second. I'm watching a Sprint commercial the other day. And guess what? They actually have the sound of the goat.
Oh,
that sound right there. That actually sound comes out in the new Sprint commercials that are out there. It's hilarious.
Everyone's stealing our ideas.
Everyone is taking the ideas.
I know some of the radio shows.
Retweet.
Yeah, retweet. Yep. Some of the radio shows are cropping up. They're all taking our material.
Everyone. It's just amazing. We're trendsetters.
I guess.
Trendsetters in the industry out there.
How do we capitalize on that?
And you know what? The greatest thing right now is right now in the car, Joe is laughing his butt off, and Kim is just shaking her head back and forth. She's sitting there going, I can't believe Joe had that idea to put all those animal sounds on there.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of those things I've always loved. So
you'll have to get an eagle sound now that we have a little.
That is correct.
This morning.
It kind of sounds like that.
And the eagle does sound. How's that eagle sound again, by the way? I know Joe's really laughing at this point. That's funny. That is absolutely hilarious.
Well, we're kind of getting up towards the end of the show again, and typically we wanted to go. What do you want to leave people with today? We'll start with you.
Well, overall, when you do go out there and look for a home, you just make sure that you get all your questions, answers, and concerns, and make sure you do work with a reputable company as well.
That is awesome. That's Gustavo with DH Homes. How about you, Phil?
What was the question again?
You got to wake. You did a goose. Next time we go to ask you a question, we'll nudge you to wake you up.
Exactly. It is. What would you like to have people leave the show with, knowing about you today?
Well, again, we're strive to earn a 5-star review on every job that we have. So a lot of painting companies will want you to put a down payment, up front. Give me some money first, and then I'll start painting. We don't ask for that. So if you're hiring a painting company, make sure you get somebody that's reputable, and that's what we're here to do.
And again, how can people reach you?
At phil@protectpainters.com, or protectpainters.com is the website. And again, the phone number is 281-673-1702.
That is awesome. Time flies, you're having fun. We are coming up against the end of the show. Last quote of the day: "In everything, always give thanks." That's from the great Teresa Kennedy, as we say.
Yes, well, we all gave thanks this Thursday, and there was a lot to be thankful for.
That is correct.
We had friends and family, and it was a great Thanksgiving.
Until next time, we are out.
And you've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The question is, who's Frank, who's Sammy, who's Dean, and who's the other guy?
Chris is Frank.